my soul is tormented by a succubus. Calling sis, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love.
So Heroes Fest just happened. That's the big My Hero Academia event in Japan that we usually always get announcements for. Unfortunately, it looks like I was right in my last video where I said we were most likely not going to get an exact release date for My Hero Academia Season 5, since it was leaked that the Shonen Jump issue releasing after this event will feature the key visual saying spring 2021 instead of the actual release date. And it turns out that's not just for the Shonen Jump issue, but also for this event, because they just showed the same thing saying spring 2021 instead of a month or day. But in better news, we got our first footage of Season 5 with a new trailer. Not that long of one, but there is plenty of new stuff to see here. The first thing we see is our main character Deku, who looks the same as he always does, and to the left is Koji Koda, who hasn't been that big of a character, but as we know, his quirk is to communicate with animals. But the main thing to see here is our first time ever seeing Bakugo in his new hero costume in the anime. This is Bakugo's winter costume, which has a longer collar similar to Best Jeanist and long sleeves. Then we see a better look of Bakugo's winter costume. He looks pretty annoyed, while we see the other two members of his squad, Kirishima and Kaminari, who have not changed much in design since the last time we saw them in Season 4 and the Do or Die Survival Training OVA that just came out. Now we get to see our first looks at Todoroki and Sero. Again, not that much different than how we are used to seeing them look, but front and center is Kirishima, who looks excited. Bakugo is doing that cool to the side pose. In this first arc, we are actually going to see characters put into teams and paired up in different sets of characters, which is why we see characters in basically groups in this footage. Next, we see a shot of the girls of Class 1A. Not all of them, but we have Jiro, Uraraka, Froppy, Mina, and Invisible Girl, and all the way to the right is Shoji, who is a male character, obviously. Here, it might not be easy to notice, but everyone is actually in their winter costumes. Mina has a small jacket, while the rest have slightly different designs to their costumes. Then we see more winter costumes, with Momo wearing her red cape, Ojiro wearing fur around his neck of his gi with warmer clothes underneath, and then we see other characters to the right. This looks like it takes place directly after our earlier shot of Bakugo, Kirishima, and Kaminari, as we see them pretty much the same in the back. Now we get to see Class 1B all in their winter costumes as well. Of course, some look more different than others, and some look exactly the same as they did the last time we saw them. This arc is of course the joint training arc, which will heavily feature Class 1B and will show these characters training with the main cast of characters. We get close-ups of All Might, Kaminari, Deku, and Bakugo, although Bakugo is very close up. Then we get some shots of Class 1A as it says versus Class 1B. Then we get shots of Class 1B. Then we get several shots of characters in action, but the biggest thing shown is our first shot of Shinzo, who we haven't seen in action since Season 2 in the Sports Festival, which is my favorite arc of the anime. Just like in the key visual that was also shown, he is wearing a mouthpiece like Aizawa and will be fighting using Aizawa's binding cloths. We'll get to see more on his relationship with Aizawa and how he learned to use those and why in the actual season, but Shinzo is not a part of Class 1A or Class 1B. If you remember, he isn't even in the hero course at all, but he now has his chance to be a part of it here in this season. But let me know what you guys thought of this new footage. Were you disappointed we still don't have a full release date? I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I would appreciate it if you left a like before you go. My name's Konjik, and I'll talk to you in the next video.